Welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited, e-learning program of ticketing tool for L1 IT support. So we have discussed about life cycle of a ticket, about the incident management and creating tickets via the incident management tool. And we have also explored one of the incident ticketing tool called JIRA. So we are going to discuss about the service request ticket creation. We call it as a RFM, request fulfillment management. Apart from the incident management, RFM is also playing a major role wherever the users wanted to have the request like I need a hardware, I need a software, I need a requirement. So all these things will be called as a request. It is not an incident. So here we'll be discussing about how to create a service request and how to work on the service request. Like we have seen different workflows of incident management, different stages of incident management. We'll also go through different stages in the service request. If you see both are same, there is no difference in the workflow like assigning, creating the ticket, assigning the ticket, marking the ticket in pending, and moving the ticket to again work in progress and resolving the ticket or closing the ticket. Same workflow as like our incident management. Maybe other organizations can go for adding the approval workflow for RFM. It is not required for incident management, whereas in RFM we require approvals. Say somebody is asking laptop that requires a budget approval. So the approval will go to the project manager. Once project manager approves, then the request will be processed by the IT team. So likewise, there will be slight changes between IM and RFM, but more or less both are same only in the workflow model. But the requirements are different. So we call it as a service request or RFM management. Okay. So let's move on and see the ticket creation in this tool. So RFM are always called as a service request. So as we discussed and mentioned, whenever there is a requirement, we go for raising a service request. So it is always there in the organizations. There are two different things, right? It is a issue kind of a ticket and other is a requirement kind of tickets. So here it will come for both hardware, software, and folder permissions, network access, privileged permissions. Suppose I want to have access to the server or I want to have access to the FTP. So any kind of access related things, it will come under RFM. Though it is access management, but request will be raised under the service request. So any kind of requirement for the team, they will be raising a service request. It will be tracked, and sometimes we go for um, getting the approvals in the workflow. And access related requests definitely will have some expiry date. Suppose I'm asking the access to the server, the question will be how long the access is required and what is the level of access is required. So that will be tracked by a request. So once the time period is completed, the analyst will be notified and will have to remove the access for the particular user. So that is covered under access management actually, but it is processed via the service request only. So your service request should have the option. Okay, so the expiry date should be mentioned. Before the expiry date, the automated mail should go to the analyst as well as to the user that the access is going to be revoked. And if at all they require it, they can renew it or raise a new request for getting the access. That is a kind of automation we have to do in the service management. It will not be available by default, that we have to add the requirement to the service management tickets. So normally I told in the incident management, suppose you have 5 service requests and immediately you are getting one incident and you are processing these 5 requests one by one, but suddenly you got incident ticket. So which one you will take it now? Whether you will focus on service request or you will work on incident management. We cannot see it as a sequential process between the incident and request. So if you have a service request and incident, the first priority should be given to the incident because something is not working for someone, so it is a high priority. This kind of software requirement or hardware requirement, anything, it is additional enhancements what users are asking for. It can be delayed, but not completely, but we cannot ignore it. Okay, so if you want me to compare between both, I'll give preference to incident. And once I complete that, I'll move on to service request management. So always the service request takes a low priority. That we have to remember it. And sometimes, if the automations are available, we can completely move into the automation part. So the delay for the user will be completely avoided. So they are asking a software MS project or Photoshop kind of software. Once they raise a request, automation should pick it up, and the approval will go to the project manager. Manager approves, and it come back to the queue, and it checks for the package in the SCCM server. If the package is available, the software will be automatically pushed to the laptop or desktop, provided it should be connected in the internet or network. Then once the software is installed, the request will be automatically closed. There is no intervention required from the analyst. So this is the complete automation. We call this kind of processing as a zero touch, because from the analyst point of view, there is no intervention is provided. So we call it as a zero touch. So there are a lot of automation perspective available, but this session we are going to understand about the ticket workflow of a service request. So this is a panel or a console for JIRA service management. From here only we are going to move it to the ticket creation. So this is the console or tool for ticket creation, JIRA service management. You have different tabs available. I have created a separate project for Comet to identify it from the general dashboard. So normally for the organization there will be only one project listed, but there is a customer requirement to have a separate queues. Then we can have a queue created for a separate customer, and we can also put it in the dashboard. So here is the option for creating a new incident or service request. Request for a new account, maybe for a new user is joining, and we have to create a account for the vendor. Same for supporting the organization, we'll have different vendors like HP, Dell, or we also call them as a resource engineer, where they'll be working in the organization as a contractor. Normally, we'll be raising a ticket with the vendor, they'll provide a support no. So in case you have more number of pieces, like 500,000 pieces, they will allocate one engineer to the site. So anything we can directly check with him, and we can get the hardware support from the vendor. So for him to log into the system, we need to have some ID created. So for that only we are raising a request. So this is being assigned with the server team, specifically to the Active Directory team, because they are going to have access to create user IDs in the server. So we are just mentioning the requirement. So naming standard will be there for each organization, and starting with company name and the vendor ID. So we are mentioning that while creating the ticket. If suppose the user is not providing the details, as an analyst, we have to ask them So user is creating a ticket now, okay, and it will get assigned to the analyst. So analyst can ask the details with the user, and he can make updates accordingly. We can create the tickets. So the ticket is created. It is in CIP 3. We're going for the dashboard. So we could see from the dashboard, we could see there is a ticket available, and the reporter is Muthu, and it is waiting for the support. Time to resolution 8 hours. Based on the priority, it has taken the time as 8 hours. Assigned, if you see, it is unassigned. The ticket is not yet assigned to somebody, so it is in the initial stages of the ticket. So whatever data typed in by the user, we are able to see time to first response. So response within 4 hour, resolution 8 hours. That is a SLA time. The ticket is still with unassigned state, so I am being the only user available in this tool. I am assigning the ticket in my name itself. Otherwise, no, you will get list of analysts available based on the availability of the analyst, based on the shift and other stuff. You can choose the analyst name. Urgency, yeah, this is required on urgent basis, so I'm choosing high. Otherwise, I can choose low. Operational categorization, account request. So this is I'm classifying the details. Time tracking. So once the ticket is created, how much time I'm going to spend in that particular ticket, I can track that. Different tool gives different functionality, and priority is high. So high means P2. Highest means P1. So now the ticket is in assigned state. I'm making it as in progress. So from one stage to other stage we are moving, and this is the first thing what we have to do. We have to update the user that we have received the ticket and we are going to work on the ticket. So once I say accepted or okay, or it is showing here as in progress, the ticket will be moved as in progress, and the update will be sent to the user via the ticketing system, and user will be getting the mail. So this timestamp will be calculated as a response time. We saw in the previous slides, right, response time and resolution time. So from the ticket created, and I'm giving this update, right, in progress. I'm clicking on the in progress. So whether I'm typing or not, even I can put a dot and click on the in progress, but that is not entertained, because as per the process, we should give standard comment to the user and provide the details like when you are available and when you can work on the ticket. So otherwise we cannot uh, reach the SLA target of response time. So I'm also providing additional details, what is required for creating the account. So approval from the tower manager. So whoever is your manager, supervisor, so please get the approval from the manager so that we can create an account. And expiry date. So in Active Directory, we can set the expiry date, no? So till how long you wanted, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, right? So normally we'll create vendor accounts for 1 year. So if the vendor is continuing, then we can extend it for another 1 year. So expiry date is very important. We cannot keep the accounts lying in our Active Directory idle. So this account is created in our domain, so it has to follow the same part of communications as like other accounts. So we cannot give any exceptions in the password reset, password restrictions, complexity. So it should be same policy applied for this account also, though it is a service account kind of thing, vendor account. We cannot give any exceptions. So we'll have to change the password monthly once. We cannot have simple passwords. So after giving all this information, I'm clicking on in progress. So my timestamp is calculated. So response is met because it is 4 hours no. So I have immediately updated the ticket and sent the information to the user. See, in the response, right? So even if you are taking much time, it will be a problem because you'll have more number of tickets. So what they will do in the service desk team or contact center team, they'll have a standard template. Okay, so they just copy paste the template first and try to meet the response time first. Okay, they'll put the ticket in progress and meet the response time. Then later they will work on the pending details, whatever it is required from the user, what is actual requirement, and when they can work on the issue. All these things they can later update in the ticket. Or you can do it in the first attempt itself. If you are available and able to do it, you can do it. So other status are available as pending. So now it is in progress. Earlier it was an assigned state. Now it is in progress. So work log, there are two things available. Like you can have internal data updated in the work log, so that if you are closing the shift and next person is coming in the next shift, they can understand what is happening in the ticket and they can continue in troubleshooting the ticket. Okay, so here we are also tracking the time, how much time I spent in particular ticket. So that is one thing. Activity log, that will be shared with the user. This work log will be internally consumed. So within the team, technical team, the data will be published, whereas it will not go to the end user, or vice versa also. So each company will have something different terms available. Work log is meant for the end user, and activity log is meant for the internal team. So whatever it is, we should have internal communication in the ticket itself. It's not that I have to send a mail to somebody. So if I have the internal communication updates in the ticket, somebody is opening the ticket on behalf of me, they can understand what is currently done and what need to be done further. Okay. So it is in progress status, creating the Dell account, Dell user account. So I'm trying for putting the ticket in pending. So if I need some time and I don't have anything to play as of now, we can go for marking the ticket in pending status. So trying to link other details here. So we asked for the approval. In the earlier statement we have mentioned we want a manager approval, supervisor approval. That approval is not available as of now. So what we are saying, I will put the ticket in pending. You check with your manager and get the approval. Once you attach the approval, we can further work on the ticket. So that is why I'm going for putting the ticket in pending. So it is not pending because of the analyst. It is pending because of the user. So it will not be coming to our SLA timing. So we can put the ticket in pending. That's the reason we are getting the pending status from the ITIL framework. So if it is pending because of you, that is L2 team is busy, they are not able to create an account, you cannot put the ticket in pending. Okay, so if it is pending because of the user, you can inform the user accordingly and put the ticket in pending. Pending for vendor updates, pending for hardware delivery, anything external to the analyst, we can put the ticket in pending, but it should be genuine. Just for the sake of holding the ticket, we cannot park the ticket in pending status. And we'll be doing the audit. We'll take the pending ticket and we'll see whether all the pending tickets are genuine and reasons are perfect. Otherwise, we'll be taking a non-compliance action for the analyst. So we should avoid that and ensure genuine informations are updated in the ticket. Now the ticket is moved to the pending status. Okay, the during the pending time, the SLA clock will not run. That is why we are going for pending status. Whatever the 8 hour time, even if I am going to work on tomorrow, because the user is not given the approval, tomorrow only is going to give it. Even I can start working tomorrow and I can initiate the pending, move the ticket from pending to in progress and work on the ticket and close the ticket. So this is the workflow followed in your JIRA service management tool. It is the internal design. So waiting for the support, waiting for the customer, escalated, in progress, pending. So as of now, the ticket status in pending, blue color. So assume that the user have provided the approval mail. So what we are saying, if suppose user is not attaching the mail, we can decline it. If user provided the approval mail, we can process it. Anyway, I'm going to resolve the issue. So I'm just saying, since we are not seeing any attachment related to the approval mail, even we have waited for 48 hours, right? So after a lot of reminders and other stuff, we could have sent one reminder also through IM instant messaging. We could have sent one more reminder or called the user based on the time. Okay, so if you have bulk number of tickets, you cannot spend more time, but already you have waited 48 hours for the response, and we have sent two reminders also via the ticket. So since there is no response, we are proceeding in closing the ticket. But here, this is not a successful one, right? So we are saying declined. So if it is resolved, so we'll say successful or process, right? So we are giving the information clearly so that user can reach us once he has approval. Either he can create a new ticket and attach the approval in that ticket, or he can pass the information to us, or the user can reopen this ticket and attach the approval mail so that we can process the ticket. So anything we have to provide a detailed information in the ticket so that even if somebody from our team opening the ticket, he or she should have detailed information about it. So it is always better to provide detailed information in the ticket. So now we are saying that you are not providing the approval mail. So we have already sent two reminders, but still there is no response from you, and hence we are closing the ticket. That's it. So we are also mentioning three-strike policy. So that is a policy used normally in the industry. We'll be sending three reminders for the user. If user is not responding that after three reminders, we'll just close the ticket mentioning that it is a three-strike policy. Now assume that we are having a different scenario. So three strike is always required because normally what organization or customer will say, um, we have to send a reminder to the user on alternative days. Suppose Monday we are sending first reminder, Tuesday and Wednesday is the alternate day, right? So Wednesday we have to send the second reminder, and Friday we'll send the third reminder. If user is not responding, Saturday the ticket will be closed. So user cannot escalate because already we have sent three reminders, then only we are closing. We'll clearly mention as per three strike policy, we attempted for reaching you via mail, IM and phone. You are not able to respond. So we are closing the ticket as a unsuccessful one or failure one because it is not fulfilled the user requirement. So we cannot say successful. So we can decline it. Now this scenario, another scenario is same user, same ticket. He has attached the approval mail. So if the ticket is in pending, user is attaching the evidence, then automatically the ticket will move to the in progress state. You need not change the ticket status. Okay. So if user is updating the ticket which is in waiting or pending, once he says attach or OK, then immediately the ticket status will be changed from pending to in progress. The user will be notified and analyst will be notified so that analyst can work on this old ticket because he may be having new tickets now. So once he is getting the update over the mail, he can start working on the old ticket since user is attached the approval mail, and he can fulfill the requirement. So that is how the ticket workflow will be processed in the real time. This is also a real-time example only, but only thing is I don't have multiple users here, analysts here. Okay, so only one we have created. So the closure note, we are just giving the detailed one so that user need not return to us with any other dissatisfaction. So we provide the entire informations clearly, and you can also add a note: stay safe, stay home. So we can go ahead and resolve the ticket. So you can see in the right side green color, the ticket is resolved and marked as done. So in this JIRA, comments is meant for the end user and work log is meant for the internal teams. Comment will be visible to end user and analyst both, whereas work log will be visible only to the analyst, not to the end user, because it is actually meant for internal communication purpose. So the next workflow is closed because the analyst will do the resolution and resolve the ticket. So there will be some time gap provided for the end user so that he can verify the connectivity or he can verify the solution, and then user will give the acknowledgement for the ticket so that you can close the ticket. Otherwise, by default, no, normally we'll have 3 days time. If user is not responding, not ready to provide any update, within 3 days time, the ticket will get closed automatically. So auto closure is there. The difference is that if the ticket is in resolved state, user can reopen it. And suppose the required thing is not available or not working, user can reopen the ticket. But once the ticket is closed, you cannot reopen it. That's a difference between resolved and closed. So this is a common workflow, common configurations available in all the ticket management tool. Not only this JIRA, you take any real-time ticket management tools like ServiceNow or SolarWinds tool or CA Service Desk, whatever it is, they'll be having this kind of default options in the ticket. So we have seen complete workflow of a ticket, right from creating, assigning, in progress, pending, and resolved and closed. So this is the entire workflow available in the ticket. We have come to the conclusion of service request management topic. Hope we have got more clarity on ticket creation and other workflows available in the ticket. So thank you very much.